Growth operating will be one of the highest paying online business models in 2026 because you get paid proportionally to the results you deliver rather than the time that you put in. But that means if you want to be one of the top earners in this space, you need to know how to actually deliver results. So I'm filming this video to break down the exact skill sets you need to learn in order to grow your info agency and become the highest level operator possible. And this isn't going to be some generic bullshit vid that tells you to learn how to build automations or to just get good at sales. These are the factors from my experience which have gotten me the furthest and are the most important when it comes to scaling your agency. Let's not waste any more time and dive in. Okay, so I'm going to be running you through the exact skill sets you need to learn in order to become the highest level operator possible in 2026. So the first skill set isn't necessarily even a skill set, it's just something that you should be doing with every single one of your clients, and so many people don't talk about this because they think it's not important, but it really is, and it's one of the biggest drivers in having a successful info agency, and that is building strong client relationships with every single one of your creators and people that you work with. Because your goal with every client that you sign should be to build long-lasting relationships and make money with them over many months and many years together. If you've already gone to the effort of finding that client, signing them, building out all their systems and getting everything in place, then you want to be able to profit from them in the long term as well. And the only way you can continue to do that is by maintaining strong client relationships with every single one of your creators. Not only that, just building good client relationships is one of the fastest ways to scale your info agency, because if somebody likes working with you, you get them good results and you have a good relationship, they're going to want to refer you to other people they know. And all of these creators know other people in the space, they know other people in the niche, and they communicate with them regularly. So if you deliver them results and they enjoy working with you and they see you as a friend, then they're going to want to refer you over to other people they know so you can help them out as well. So maintaining good relationships is good for the info agency, because if you deliver results and people enjoy working with you, they'll want to refer you to other people that they know. But the one thing you really want to avoid is having high client churn. Especially as being a growth operator, the hardest thing for you is going to be consistently signing new clients. So if you've already gone ahead and closed a deal with a creator, you've set everything up, you've built out all the systems for them, and then they go ahead and just drop you a few weeks or a month later, then you're not going to have profited from all of the work that you've done, and you're going to be forced to try and find new clients to make up for that. And all you had to do was just maintain a good relationship, and you'll continue to make money with this creator in the long term. But how do you actually build good relationships? Well, firstly, never overpromise, and do this from the very beginning. Even if you're on a sales call with a creator and you're trying to close them and sign them as your client, never tell them they're going to be able to get this result with you, when in reality it's just probably not that possible. Even if you think it might be possible, don't tell them that, because when you come in and you inevitably under-deliver on that promise, they're going to be frustrated. They're going to be annoyed with you specifically because you told them that they could get this result, and when they didn't get that result, they're frustrated. Secondly, this one should go without saying, but it's listening to what the client wants. There's nothing more frustrating for a business owner than having an operator work with them and just being completely rogue and not listening to their ideas and following their vision. Often they have a plan set out in their mind, something they'd like to achieve, products they'd like to sell, offers they'd like to scale. But if you come in and start doing it completely differently, act like a rogue, then they're not going to be happy with you. They're going to be frustrated. You're not following the vision that they see for themselves and that they'd like to achieve. Your job is simply to come in and build out the systems for them that they need to scale that vision. That's all it is, and that is exactly what your job should be. Finally, communicate with them regularly and keep them in the loop. This is really important for both of you, because you're both going to be able to get insights from each other and know exactly what's going on in the business. If you don't let the creator know what's going on, then there's going to be misalignment when it comes to marketing the products, because it's different to the way you're selling it, it's different to the actual offer itself, or whatever it is. It's super important to maintain good communications, and also just for the creator themselves, so they can know what you're building in their business. At the end of the day, it's their business. They want to be regularly updated on what's going on, why they're actually paying you such a big percentage, or they're paying you this money. They want to know what's going on, so it's your job to keep them in the loop, inform them on what exactly you're building, what you're doing, and making sure there just always is that alignment. Okay, skill set number two, and skill set number two is going to be sales team management. This one is one of the most crucial in the entire business. If you can't properly manage a sales team, then the offer is just not going to make money. It's as simple as that. Of your goals for the sales team, the first and most important one is that they're able to deliver predictable revenue and be consistent. Out of all the different variables that change inside of the business, everything that fluctuates, your sales team is the one factor that should be a constant variable. They should not change. You know, if you're delivering leads to your sales pipeline, they're going to be converted at these rates. You can't have a closing team which one week they're closing at a 50% close rate and the next week they're closing at a 10% close rate. There's so many factors that change in a coaching business, and your sales team just has to be one that can't change. Also, you need long-term motivated team members, and these are people that have been working on your sales team for months and will continue to hopefully work with you for many more months and years because they're making enough money with you. They like being a part of your team. They get enough feedback. They feel like they're a part of a company with a good culture. These are people that enjoy working on the offer. They're making enough money. So having long-term motivated team members is super important. People that turn up every single day and are hungry to work. They're hungry to put in their best effort because they know that they're going to get the same level of treatment from you back. That's really important. And not only that, constantly onboarding new team members is super unproductive, and it just absolutely kills an offer if every other week you're onboarding a setter or once a month you're onboarding a new closer. It's just frustrating. It's going to slow down your progress, and it's honestly just a waste of time. You want to have long-term motivated team members that are happy and hungry to be a part of the team. But not only that, you need to be able to extract data from your sales team. And that's what I'm talking about with having your sales team as a constant variable. If they're always consistent, but suddenly there's a really big change in one of the sales metrics, then that's going to tell you that there's a big issue somewhere else in the business. For instance, if your lead quality just completely falls off a cliff, then that tells you that you've got an issue with your marketing. And you're only going to be able to get those insights by being able to actually extract data from your sales team and effectively having them communicate that with you through sales metrics and through their direct feedback. But how do you actually build and manage a good sales team? Well, it starts from the very beginning, making sure that you hire the right people and onboard the team effectively. You need to make sure that the people you bring on and hire fit every single aspect of the business perfectly. Firstly, from their availability, making sure that they are actually available, they're not on the wrong time zone or anything like that, they're completely aligned, making sure that them as a person aligns with who you are as a brand. If you're trying to target an older audience, but you have like an 18-year-old closer on taking the sales calls, then that's just not going to be very good alignment. And making sure that they're just a good fit for the team culture as a whole. Everybody is sort of like getting along together, and that's really important. You make the right hires for team culture as well. Then you need to make sure that you onboard your team as effectively as possible. You need to give them the context into absolutely everything so they can get up to speed as quickly as possible, and give them an outline for everything that they should be doing so they can get to work and they know what they are working on. Like, for example, giving them an offer sheet outline straight away so they know exactly what the offer is, or telling them exactly who our ideal client is, explaining the niche to them, exactly how it works, what the market dynamics are, how we're positioned, giving them testimonials and case studies to review so that they can reference them on sales calls and so they know what success actually looks like inside of this business or inside of this niche, giving them all the closing frameworks and scripts they need, and giving them sales pitch decks or whatever it is. You need to make sure that they have absolutely everything, or even giving them the setter script so they have the context of what it's like or what the sales process has been like before they get on a sales call with them, and giving them frequently asked questions and a document which tells them what our frequently asked questions are and what the most common objections we get are, so that they know how to pre-handle them or to counter them as soon as they come up on a sales call. And just whatever it is, you need to make sure that your sales team are onboarded as effectively as possible so they can get up to speed and so that they can work hard and they have all the context they need to crush deals with you and with the offer. You need them maximizing every single lead that comes into the pipeline. That's why you're giving them SOPs on how exactly to operate the CRM, because you set it up in a way where it's not possible for leads to slip through the cracks. Everything needs to be managed, everything needs to be maintained, and you need to make sure that they maximize every single prospect that comes in, and they basically just stay on top of them until they buy or until they die. That is the only goal with your sales team. They need to maximize everything and there can't be any cracks in your sales process. And you do that by keeping them accountable, setting strong expectations, and reviewing all of the KPI metrics on a daily basis. And you need to be staying on top of them. You need to be saying, hey, we didn't close this lead last week. Why didn't it happen? Why didn't they close? Okay, they didn't close for this reason. What can we do differently to make sure that we get somebody like this next time? Enforcing the expectations. It is an expectation that you turn up and you put in 100% every single day. And if you don't, okay, well, we're going to hold you accountable to that. And same thing with KPI metrics. You need to make sure that the team are hitting their KPIs, they're doing exactly what they need to be done, and they know what is the expectation of them. But also just reviewing your sales metrics as well. You can do this on sales calls to give them feedback, be like, okay, this is clearly the biggest issue in our sales process right now. Why is it an issue for us? Why do we feel like this is our biggest bottleneck, and where can we improve? So making sure you know the metrics for your entire sales team is really important, but also holding them accountable and setting strong expectations of your sales team. But it's also your job to give them effective training and review what they're doing. You can't just criticize them, hold them accountable, say they're not doing well enough. You need to also review what they're doing, give them feedback, provide them effective training, something where they feel heard, and they actually, if they give you feedback, or they ask for a suggestion, or they want to know how they can improve, you can give them effective feedback, because that's super important, that you are effectively training your team. You're making sure that they fit the offer specifically and that they're at the highest level possible. So you need to always be maintaining your team, training them, reviewing what they're doing and giving them feedback so that they can improve and so the offer can just do better in general as well. Okay, so the next skill set number 3, and skill set number 3 is copywriting. Being able to write high level copy which actually converts. Because funnel building is basically just copywriting. Copywriting is the core principle behind the whole of funnel building. That is exactly what it is. Whether it be writing copy for landing pages, or putting together emails, or scripting a VSL, or making text messages, writing webinar slides, or even story sequences. There's so much stuff, but all of it, and the core principle behind all of it, is being able to write good copy that actually converts. You need to be able to write good copy which pre-handles objections, creates urgency, talks directly to your ideal customer, targets their pain points, creates desire to work with you. Whether it be creating authority through showing social proof, whatever it is, all of this needs to be communicated through the copy, whether it be pre-answering frequently asked questions, or effectively communicating what our services are, what our unique selling point is, and educating the prospects. All of this is done through writing good copy, and it's super important that you learn this skill set because it is the core fundamental behind building good funnels. And yes, there definitely are other factors which go into funnel building other than writing copy, but copywriting is where the main, is what converts at the end of the day. It's what the customers are actually reading. It's the message you're delivering. So being able to write good copy is the most important factor when it comes to building out funnels. And not only that, it needs to fit the brand voice. It needs to sound exactly like your client and your creator. You can't just put together some AI-generated VSL script or some AI-generated landing page copy. It needs to sound exactly like the creator, something they would actually say. Otherwise, people are not going to believe it, or it's just not going to be that high converting. It needs to be, okay, my creator talks exactly like this, and I'm going to replicate that with all of the copy that I write. It also needs to align with your sales process and your actual offer. The message that you deliver in the copy and in the marketing must align with how you're actually selling your products. So with the sales process that you're using, with the exact structure that you're following, and with the offer that you're selling. If you're marketing the products in one way and the copy is telling people and it's delivering this message that it's this, but in reality, when they get on the sales call, your offer is completely different to that, and it's not targeting the same pain points, it's not delivering the same transformation that you've been talking about in the marketing message, then it's not going to sell. So making sure you have good alignments between the marketing, the copy you're writing, and the actual products you're selling is super important, and it's crucial that you nail that down. On the back of that, skill set number 4, being able to build irresistible offers. Building out an offer which is so good, it would be stupid for a prospect not to buy. Okay, the first note on this is your offer is not the same as your products. They're actually completely different. Your product is the service which is being delivered to the client. This is the training material you're giving them. It's the calls, it's the whatever it is. This is what's actually being given to them as the products. The offer is the marketing promise, and that's very different. The offer and the marketing promise is what people think they're actually buying. It's the core transformation that you're promising, and it's what makes people buy in the first place, because you're telling them this is the results that you're going to be delivering to them. This is the transformation they're going to get, and this offer and these deliverables are what are going to be able to actually get them to that point. And it's all about how you package your products to make it sound like a unique transformation, to have unique selling points, and it's all about how exactly you package what you're selling to the person. The offer needs to be so good that they have to buy from you. It addresses all of their pain points, it targets their bottlenecks, and it's going to deliver them the outcome that they're looking for. And how you craft that is by doing high-level market research. Firstly, you need to look at what your competitors are doing, what they're doing well, so you can steal it and implement it into your system, but also how you can improve it to take it to the next level. But also looking for gaps in the market, what people aren't currently doing yet and what they're not currently selling, so you can uniquely position your offer and have a good, strong, unique selling points based around that. You also need to do thorough market research into your own audience, what their current situation is, what the most common obstacles that come up are, what is their desired outcome, what would they like to achieve. So when you build your offer, you can build it in a way which addresses all of these points and targets all of them in order to create an offer which is so irresistible that people want. And you're going to take all of this market research, all of this information, and package it into an offer which people are going to want to buy because it's already doing well in the market. You've positioned yourself uniquely still, but also it targets exactly what your audience are looking for. But also you need to build it in a way which it cannot limit scalability as well. And this all comes down to which delivery systems that you're using. If you're promising everybody one-to-one calls with you every single week, but you're closing 30 clients a month, then that's not going to be scalable. You can't deliver that sort of support, or at least not directly from you. So you need to build the offer in a way which is actually scalable, but also is still going to get people results. So that needs to be taken into account once you're building out your offer at the same time as well. And skill set number 5, this might not make full sense for some people, but it's about understanding lead generation and how you're actually going to be generating leads for your sales team to go ahead and close. And this is going to be deciding on which specific funnels to use, which campaigns to run, what's going to be the most effective at generating a lot of high quality leads for the business, and what's going to convert the best. First thing to understand is where is your traffic coming from and how warm or cold is the audience. Because if you're running with entirely paid ads and all of your audience is cold, then the same funnel that you're going to use to convert them is not going to be the same funnel as you're going to use to convert your organic, warm audience. Because your cold audience that have come from your paid ads, they don't know as much about you, they need a lot more nurturing, they need more touch points, they need to understand you and your offer more before they're going to be ready to actually sell to and to be able to actually convert. Whereas if you have a warm audience who have been following you for ages and then you run this funnel and they opt into this funnel, it's more likely that they're going to be able to convert quicker, or they're already going to be more warmed up, and it's going to really depend on what is going to be the best funnel to use, what's going to be the best campaign to run. There's a lot that goes into it, and it comes down to just understanding where your audience is coming from and how warm or cold they actually are. The second thing to understand is your niche and whether it's an emotional sell or whether it's a logical sale, because that really makes a difference. For example, if you're selling a fitness offer or a fitness coaching offer, it's going to be a very emotional sell because you're going to be targeting on all of their pain points, the bottlenecks, stuff that they're struggling with in their day-to-day life. But if you're trying to convince somebody that real estate or this form of real estate is the best place to invest their money, you need to educate them on whether it actually is the best form of investment for them, what the ROI return is. Because one is selling on someone's emotions, something that's like physically hurting their emotions, and one is selling based on a logical decision, whether it logically makes sense to move forward. So understanding your niche and what you're selling is also really important. Also, for instance, what your price point is, because if you're selling a completely low ticket product, once again, that's going to have a different setup to if you're selling a high ticket product. If you're selling something for $100 a month versus something for a $10,000 upfront payment, the process in terms of converting these deals are going to be very different, and they're going to need different steps, different setups, and everything is going to change based on how much you're selling for as well. And this bit is actually kind of hard to learn. This is something you only really can understand after you've had a lot of experience, you've failed with a lot of businesses, and you can really come in and straight away see what's going to work and not work. Because you might implement a funnel and it might not be the right funnel to implement straight away, but after you've had a lot of experience, you've seen what works with other businesses, what works for certain businesses, what works in certain niches, types of audiences, stuff like that, you're really gonna get the knack and the understanding of what funnels will convert, what types of systems do we need in place, what different touch points do we need to give the customer in order for them to be ready to be sold to and for them to be ready to convert. And you're only gonna get that to that point by having a lot of experience and yeah, just getting stuck in and failing a lot of times. Getting near the end now, I promise. Skill set number 6 is actually going to be optimizing for efficiency, making sure every single area of your clients' businesses are running as smoothly as possible, and making sure your own agency is just operating at the highest level, efficiency level it could possibly be at. And your main goal with this is going to be firstly to save as much of your clients' time, your team's time, your own personal time on a daily basis, and also making sure that you have the fastest speed to lead possible. So making sure that nobody's wasting their time anywhere, and we're being as efficient as possible when it comes to contacting every single lead that comes into the business. So that's going to come down to automating repetitive tasks in the business, whether it be sending out a specific email or sending over a pre-call video that needs to be watched before a sales call. All of this stuff that could be done manually, but could also be saved time with an automation, or whether it be the onboarding process is streamlined through an automation to save your client time, or whatever it is, just finding repetitive tasks that are done on a daily basis and automating it to save your team's time. And then also alerting your team members as well when it comes to making sure that you have the fastest speed to lead possible. A new prospect opts into one of your funnel, the entire team gets known about that straight away. Everybody gets updated on that. There's an instant notification for the entire team, so you can go ahead and contact that prospect straight away, but also automated so that all the contact details are already added to the CRM. So when your setter, for instance, or your dialer sees that there's been a new opt into the funnel, that they can go ahead, log into the CRM straight away, and they can already see all of that lead's contact details and go ahead and reach out to them and book a sales call with them all within the matter of hopefully a few minutes. But the one thing to avoid is most people worry too much about automations. They think setting up Zaps or building an N8N workflow is moving the needle. It's really not. It's not growing the business. What it is doing is making it as efficient. It's saving you time, and it's making sure that your sales team and team can operate at the highest level and quickest level possible. But it's not a real needle mover. So that's one thing to mention. So many people I talk to, they're like, oh, I've been building out all these Zaps, I've been setting up all these systems, but that doesn't really move the needle. So stop worrying too much about the exact specific Zapier automations you're setting up. All it does is save you time and helps the business run more effectively. They're essential, but they don't actually move the needle, and they're not a growth driver, if that makes sense. And the final skill set, outsourcing. Almost everything we've talked about in this video can be outsourced to a certain extent in order to be able to scale your info agency. To stop being just a freelancer, you need to know how to actually outsource tasks and build a team beneath you so that you can actually grow, you can work on multiple offers, and you can scale it as an agency rather than just being a freelancer who works on like 1 or 2 offers. To actually grow the agency, you need to be able to build out a proper team who can handle a lot of the tasks that I've mentioned in this video. From managing your sales team, so bringing in a sales manager to manage everything in your entire sales process across your offers, to having a copywriter who's writing all of that high converting copy for your funnels for you, to somebody who builds out the funnels and actually creates the landing pages, or I didn't talk about ads in this video, but somebody to run all the ads and be your media buyer, or even someone just to be your VA and click buttons for you. The stuff that is just repetitive and is taking a lot of your time on a daily basis, all of it should be outsourced so you can focus on the highest leverage tasks for your agency and actually scaling and making more money as possible. Because your time is important, and your goal as you grow should be to outsource as much as possible. As much as you can outsource it so that you can only keep your time focused on the most high leverage areas and in the specific areas that need your expertise. So for instance, whether it be like deciding which funnel to run, only you're gonna have that level of expertise to come in and say, okay, this is the exact funnel we need to run for this business. That's an area where your expertise is going to be needed. But actually writing the copy for that funnel, you can outsource that, or managing the sales team can be outsourced. As you grow, you need to be able to build your team beneath you so you can continue to bring on more offers, scale more, and just essentially grow your agency in of itself. Okay, I know that might come out as a slightly long video, but these are the exact skill sets you need to master in 2026 in order to be able to grow your info agency and to actually scale your growth operating clients and make money with them. I drop regularly videos about all of this stuff on my page, so if you want to see more of it, subscribe, or if you want to work directly with me and get my direct support in growing your info agency, then check the links in the description to be able to work directly with me.